Hello friends and enemies, welcome to Happy For Now. Today is a special video and I'm really excited about it. So I decided to challenge myself to read all of the Dreamland Billionaires series. I've toyed with reading them on and off repeatedly after seeing them on TikTok a lot, and other people I know love and rave about them. I just was worried. I always get stressed that I'm not gonna like a popular thing, so I was just like, I don't know, what if I hate it? And I was like, we'll try. It'll be a fun vlog at the very least. So here we are. I do talk spoilers in this. So if you care about spoilers, I will try to have them marked time-wise, with timestamps, so where I'm talking full spoilers so you can skip them. But just a warning in case I miss something. But I am trying to keep my final book thoughts spoiler-free-ish, as spoiler-free as I can. So I will mark where I talk about spoilers for that one as well for you, so you can jump ahead. Because I know it just came out today and I was lucky enough to get an ARC, which is part of what inspired me to do this video. You know, I just was curious. I do enjoy a billionaire romance, but I get bored with too many of them, and I wondered how this would play out for me. You know, I am a Disney adult to an extent, I guess we'll call it, and that also had me intrigued about these. I also have just heard really good things about Lauren Asher's writing, so without further ado, let's throw it to me vlogging and reading this book, probably with green hair still. So this started a while ago. I'll be back to talk to y'all soon. I am reading the Dreamland Billionaires series because I by chance got an ARC of the final one, thinking I would have already read the other ones by now, but I haven't. So the day the final book comes out, the final offer, I will post this video for you where I've read all three. So I'm kind of going in with not a ton of knowledge on this series. I would say my most extensive knowledge for this series is the fact that it's based around a theme park, and a grandfather dies and the three brothers have to complete tasks to inherit their portion of the company. And so far I've started fine print. I've started the fine print. And I'm really intrigued and I'm enjoying it. I think these are just very popcorny reads so far. I am 15% through. I don't know. Where's my Kindle? Hold on. Yeah, so I'm about 15% through right now. It has been storming really bad today, so I'm actually I gotta go drop a package off at the UPS store. And I'm gonna go grab a McDonald's Coke because the barometric pressure has been giving me the weirdest low-level migraine of my life. I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, so I'm gonna go grab a Coke at McDonald's. I didn't want to do that, but I was kind of nothing is working. Nothing is working. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna finish up the fine print before we go to bed tonight at least, and hopefully start the next one, which is Terms and Conditions. But yeah, so far I really like Zara, our main character. Rowan's the usual grumpy hero. So I'm here for it. This seems just, again, very popcorny, but I'll be back in a bit to talk more, full details. Okay, so I'm 25% in, and I am obsessed with Rowan and Zahara, to be honest with you. They're so fun, and I love... Look, I can see why people didn't like her as a heroine, and I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff I don't like, but just the fact alone that she quite literally cannot shut her mouth to save her life, and he is so just quiet and gruff and not talkative. I love that, and the way they talk to each other cracks me up. But I also am really liking the dual POV where we're getting insights on Rowan's life and why he is the way he is, so that's been interesting. I'm just really pumped for more to come out of this. And yeah, I'm gonna keep reading it tonight. My head finally feels better, so I'm probably gonna lay in bed for a while and read. My freaking page turner needs charge, so I'm charging that so I can hook it up my gooseneck in bed and read, because that's honestly my plan. And I'll probably update you from bed, because you can see me right now, but the light on our fan broke. It works, it's just dimmer for some reason, and I have the kitchen light on basically, so it's not dark in here, because otherwise it's pretty dark in here and you wouldn't be able to see me on camera that well. So I'm just trying to find other spots to film. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready for bed here, wash my face, all that good shit, and I will be back to talk more about fine print because I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out. Hello. Okay, so last night / this morning, I did finish fine print, and like, I basically I stayed up till 2 a.m. reading this book. I remember seeing criticism for it. The only thing like I can see would be like the sister in the book of our female main character, Zara, has Down syndrome. I don't know enough to speak on that, so like that's something I'm gonna have to pass to people who like know more. But I'm gonna research some of it. Just I'm curious. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I wasn't even that off put by the epilogue, which is like a baby epilogue, which is not my favorite thing at all. Like, I do not enjoy baby epilogues, but I didn't mind it in this one, especially because it was like a large time jump. I think that made sense. And I also will say like their third act breakup, of course, is just like, y'all communicate, but it made sense because we had so much groundwork laid for our hero Rowan's trauma from his parents' love story and the loss of his mother, that like he didn't understand it. But I really think I guess I also could see some critique for how the depression stuff is talked about with Zara and like what she went through. But to me, some of that felt very real because like I feel like sometimes, for me at least, I've found that if I get into a depressive state, it's kind of sometimes out of nowhere and in a way that I don't always realize it's what's happening. And then when I come out of it, I'm like, oh shit, that was what that was, wasn't it? So there's that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it 4 stars. I think it was a good time. I really like the world building. I like the setup for these brothers. I'm really excited to start Declan's book and then Cal's book. And I'm glad I'm reading these. I'm actually possibly going to pick up the paperbacks when Shay visits because like they're just fun. Like they're really fun, cute contemporary romances. So on to terms and conditions. Which I already started chapter 1 of and really, really like, but I've got to shower and get ready to film. I have to film my December wrap up and start writing notes and stuff for videos to end out the month. So I'm going to be working on that here, and I will talk to y'all very, very soon when I get a little further in this book. So I've started and read about 37% of terms and conditions, and I already am having feelings and thoughts. I love the setup for this, obviously. Like, the marriage of convenience is just my favorite, and the fact that they're co-workers and he relies on her so heavily already, I really like. Again, obviously there's a dynamic there, but the way it came about worked really well for me because it wasn't just like him being like, you need to do this. She kind of came to that conclusion on her own. We've since gotten through their wedding and all that, and like the brief moments we have of Declan softening his very, very hard, grumpy exterior towards Iris are spectacular. And the moments we have of his like intense jealousy towards others is also my favorite, and I'm loving it. And the wedding itself was delightful. I really am loving the tension build in this one. I feel like Lauren Asher's really good at building tension currently, and I will be curious to try some of her other books. I know she has some F1 books that I definitely think I would enjoy, but truly, I think I might like Declan more than I liked Rowan. So now I feel like am I going to like Cal more than I liked all of the other brothers? I'm not sure, but they're so grumpy. Just peak grumpy, and you know, I love it. But yeah, they're currently on their honeymoon, and I'm just sad for Iris. I can't wait for her to like fully express the things she's feeling to Declan and see how that plays out for her, because I think their like inability to fully communicate obviously is going to play a part in their issues at the end of the day, and I'm just really curious to see how that gets addressed in the book and the storytelling. But yeah, currently they're on their honeymoon, they're in South Africa, and I'm just really curious. Like, I am so freaking curious. I cannot wait to finish this up though, because it's so good so far. I'm really I'm really glad I waited till the final book was coming out, but I'm also mad at myself for waiting because I've enjoyed it so much that I kind of wish I had read. I wish I'd read it sooner. So there's that. Okay, I am 67% through Terms and Conditions right now, and I just need to come here and squeal a little because I think I like Declan more than I like Rowan. And Iris is amazing, but the fact of the matter is I am living for him, like, figuring this out. I'm trying to get in better light. It's nighttime, so I'm loving him figuring this out. And him being like, I am gonna chase her. And then, like, his driver giving him the advice she did. And then commenting on how, like, he's happy to know that all men are dumb about women's stuff. And that was just really funny to have in this book. But I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait to wrap this up. I honestly, like, was squealing a little bit when I was doing member sprints and reading it. And they were having, like, tension build at the gala. Like, them dancing together and him not wanting to leave after the speech, like, freaking her out was everything. And then now we're in the car the next morning. And they're going on a fake date that he arranged. Fake date. And he's figured out Iris's dyslexia situation and that she has it. So I'm really curious to see how this goes because he wants her to share more on it. And he's telling her more about his mom. And I think one of the things I've loved the most in this book is every time the boys reveal stuff about their mom, it's just been really, really sweet and fun to read. So I'm going to go finish this up and I will be back in the morning to tell you all about it in more detail in my final thoughts. Because I just honestly, I'm surprised at how much I like this. I really did think I was going to hate these, which is why I put them off for so long. But the ADHD rep had me like, I've got to read it, you know? So yeah, we'll do that. And then I will be starting Final Offer tomorrow. And I'll talk to y'all then. Good morning. I just premiered Romancelandia. And I stayed up way too late last night reading Terms and Conditions because it was so good. I loved this book. I love these books. I can't believe how much I like these. I was very afraid I was going to be a hater, y'all. But I knew I had to read them because I heard about the ADHD in book 3. And I was like, well, I've arrived to read it. And I honestly, like, love it. Like, Declan is so grumpy. So grumpy. And Iris was amazing. I really loved Iris as a character here. I think she was fantastic. I also think it was really great how his grovel worked at the end and everything that played out. I found their banter when they were like texting back and forth with different language words that don't have English translations directly really, really cute and romantic. So I loved that. I loved just so much of it. So much of it, y'all. But for real, like, I like when I got to like 75%, I was like, I can't put this down. My problem with these is they're just so long, so it takes me forever, it feels like. But yeah, this was absolutely adorable. Absolutely adorable. And I'm current favorites, we're gonna say, is I think Cal is gonna be my favorite hero because I already loved him so much in this book that I'm dying to read all of his story in the next one. Like, I'm so excited for his story. And because of that, like, it's just hard, like, to not be hyped. I'm very hyped for his story in this next book, and I'm hyped to see where it takes us and what's going to happen, because I already started it, first of all, because, like, I finished this one and I opened book 3. I was like, we're starting the arc now, and then I realized this arc is, like, almost 600 pages, so that's wild, because all these other ones have been, like, 498-ish. So yeah, this one's even longer. And I guess we have to wrap up a lot of things. I think the one thing that's held the truest for me so far has been my hatred for their father. But every single time in both of these books so far they talk about their mom, I am just, my heart warms. Every time, my heart warms. I love it. I adore it. It's amazing. I cannot wait. I just feel like I cannot wait. I'm so excited to read Final Offer. And again, I'm just so happy that I didn't hate these. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like sometimes when things get really popular, I get really nervous about hating them and that they're going to be a situation of like, the hero's just an asshole instead of being grumpy. Like, whereas these guys, like, I mean, truly, they just need therapy. they need therapy badly. And they kind of, like, start to process things finally, which is what helps a lot as you continue reading it. But yeah, I am gonna go get ready here in a minute, and I've got member sprints today at 2, and I'm also going to work on importing some of this footage probably during those sprints, but I need to read Final Offer as much as I can today and then finish it tomorrow, hopefully, to get on my happy little way to reading some other things and to getting the vlog ready. But oh, I'm so excited. So I started Final Offer last night, and y'all, this book, did not realize it's 600 pages. So I fucked up because it's Monday. This book comes out tomorrow. This vlog is supposed to come out tomorrow. We're about to be on a challenge of a lifetime over here, and that is that I'm 42% through this book. I read through chapter 25. I have no idea how many chapters it is because the arc formatting is so bad. I want to show y'all this. So randomly, the text is like a light color, like so. And then I'll turn a few pages and then it turns to this dark color again, like back to black text. So that's like annoying to say the least, but I have some thoughts. So I'm going to share like some initial thoughts, non-super spoilery, and then we'll talk spoiler thoughts so far at 44%-ish, wherever I'm at, chapter 26. I'm about to start. I'm really loving the setup for Cal's book. Here's the thing. I think that we've had a lot of build-up for him in this series. I have always been kind of interested in him because I think he has the, like, he's kind of the most golden retriever-esque of the brothers. He's still kind of grumpy. Like, all of these brothers are grumpy. Like, there's no way around it. But he's also a bit of a golden retriever for his people. And I love that. I love a hero who's, like, grumpy, but for the right people is a just, like, total mushy center. And he is back at Lake Wisteria, it's called, which is somewhere in Michigan. And it's weird because the, like, header images have mountains in the background, and there's not mountains off Lake Michigan. I used to live around Lake Michigan when I was in, like, middle school, so that's weird, but whatever. Anyways, there's that. So that was kind of weird. But anyways, he has to refriend his former sweetheart / childhood friend, who also co-owns this house that his grandpa left him and her at his death. So this book is about that, them figuring this out and him having to sell the house. But, like, he can't tell anyone what's going on, and none of his brothers can help him. That's one of the caveats for his deal, which I'm really enjoying because I think that it makes sense for him because of how he is with his brothers. He's kind of wanting to prove himself, but I'm like, my heart hurts. My heart breaks for him. Like, this book is so heavy on the addiction issues, and it's such a hard read because of that, and, like, heartbreaking. But let's talk spoilers. Let's talk full spoilers now, because I think the thing that's working so well for me in this is that though it is addiction heavy, we are inside his head enough that I feel like we're seeing his internal struggles, that it's really helpful. I also love the fact that the 5-year-old is hustling him for money for the curse jar, or the swear jar, and that money happens to be $100 bills for her college fund. I'm really enjoying watching Lena and Camilla and, like, all of these interactions. Like, the kid is just the right amount for me in this, where, like, she's not too much or too annoying, so that's been great. I'm also just really enjoying the fact that, like, we time jumped a little bit. Like, we are, like, 2 years out. Like, he's doing this at the last moment possible, so that's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm enjoying that aspect. The small town in this is so funny because they are basically ready to run Cal out, like, at a moment's notice. If he hurts her again, they're gonna run his ass out of town, and I love that so much. Come here. I absolutely adore that fact. I like that they are very protective of the town people, and that it's, like, that fun small town thing, but it's not, like, I guess because it's, like, a couple hours outside of Chicago, it doesn't feel as, like, small town whitewashed, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because sometimes I read small towns and I'm like, y'all would not be nice to a lot of people. That's what we'll call it. But yeah, I'm loving like the small town element here. It's working really well for me. And now I'm like, do I need to read? I think I need to read more small town romances maybe at some point. But yeah, I'm really liking this. I also am enjoying the tension build. Like they keep having moments and then they're like, we can't do this again. And then they have moments and they're like, we can't do this again. And we are hitting a point. So this is like full on spoiler for this chapter 25. She has to move out of the house because it has to have asbestos treatment done. And he's like, you're moving into the guest house with me. You and Cammy are going to move in here. And she's like, we can't do this. This is a bad idea. And he is just like following her around and he is making sure she's packing to not stay in the house because she's like, you're not staying here. So like this like super overbearing protectiveness has come out of him, which has shown up a couple other times in the book so far. And I am living for it because she's trying so hard. And I get it. I totally get why she's resisting him. Like he has had a lot of issues and he's trying to figure out how to be better, but it's not enough yet. And I mean, I would be mad if she'd already folded on him and like they were getting back together. But this is like the perfect balance of like, oh, well, there's only one bed in a hotel room, but this is definitely the, well, you have to stay with me and there's not really another option. And I freaking love it. I freaking love it. So I'm going to go back to reading. The Kindle says I have like 4 hours left. So it's 11 in the morning. I'm hoping I can finish this evening and get this video edited for y'all, but we'll see. If not, it's going up on Wednesday. You'll know when you see this if it came out on Tuesday or not. We'll see. I'm trying. Okay, as you can see, Miss Millie has been enjoying our day of reading Final Offer. If only because it means she's laid on my lap / between my legs a lot more than she normally gets to. So I am officially 60% in, and I've got to come talk to y'all because this one had spice payoff a lot earlier than the other books. And the spice payoff was like him getting her off, and it was delightful. And then him jerking it afterwards because like reasons we're not going to completely talk about yet. Loved that immensely. Immensely. I really, really am loving the bond he's developing with the daughter. And I think the way it's working out is really great. Very curious to see how like the end part's going to play out. Like what is our third act going to be? Because like at 60%, I'm not really seeing what the third act is. Because if it's him like falling into addiction stuff again, I'm going to be pissed. But I don't know. I'm really unsure what that third act is going to be. Truly though, I'm loving this book, even though it's so freaking long. It's so long, but I'm loving it. It's been great so far. I cannot wait to finish it up today. And I just like that little sex scene was like enough to tide me over for how long of a book this is. I also think like they're childhood friends to lovers to now like enemies, sort of. Not enemies, like dislike to an extent. Like she doesn't distrust. It's not really dislike. I guess it's distrust, like because she just doesn't trust him anymore. And I get that. It makes sense. But I just love how like the town slowly been warming up to him because he was like making visual sacrifices for her and all these things. And it's really cute. And they're going to go on a trip to Dreamland here. And I'm really very excited for the Dreamland trip. So can't wait to see how that plays out as well. I'm just really excited to keep reading. So I'm going to do that. Miss Millie is going to sleep some more. Pease is also asleep. But yeah, we're going to do that. I want to talk about Final Offer and like my final thoughts on the series as a whole. I really am still surprised at how much I loved Cal's book. I got nervous at a certain point in this book about where it was going, what was going to happen. I mean, obviously it's a romance. We know there's going to be an HEA, but I was concerned that we were going to deal with a lot more heartbreak than we did. And instead I felt like we saw two people heal and come together who were very much meant for each other, and also see someone who didn't think he had purpose find purpose in life. And I really loved that. I loved how willing Cal is as a hero to do whatever he has to make the love of his life what she wants, and to get sober for himself. Also, like, he did not get sober for her, and I think that's a really important point in this book, that the sobriety was for himself. It was never for her or for Cammy, her daughter. And I loved watching Cal interact with Cammy so much. Like, it filled my heart and I don't like kids in books usually, but this worked really well. I think it grounded Cal in a way, and I think it reminded him that there's so much more to things in your life than you realize, and things that can be a lot harder than you may realize or expect, especially as someone who comes from such a privileged background, but also a messy background. The other thing in this book, which makes sense for the length, is how we resolved things with the dad. And y'all, I was so happy. Seth Kane, that worked out well. That's all I got. That worked out well. And I think like seeing all of them come together at the end, also like as a family for like a meal at one point, and also in the like extended epilogue part, perfection. It gave me the right amount of like them all healing from the trauma of their childhood, the boys, and what that looked like in the best way, the very best way possible. So loved it. Cannot wait for more from Lauren Asher. I might go back and read her F1 series. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided, but I am really impressed with this book. I hope she continues to write really amazing stories that I love, because I honestly was just stunned at how much I liked these. So the series itself, like who do I think should read it? Who do I think it's for, etc.? What do I advise? I think if it's piqued your interest, you should give it a try. I think it'd be worth waiting for audios if you aren't a long book person like I usually am, because I do think I would have gotten through them a lot quicker if I had had audios. I just struggled to pick up a thing and not see that percentage move at all on my Kindle. Personally, I'm trying to read more long books this year though, so, you know, more coming on that here. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting to see where this story went. Like from book 1 to book 3 is not exactly the path I would have predicted. I thought some different things were going to happen. So it's exciting to see that like Lauren still surprised me some. And I think you could see her writing grow as you read the series too, in a really positive light. Like you see her writing really progress wonderfully. And I am just like, I'm sad we're done. Like I'm sad I read all these in like a month and that we're done now, because I don't know, y'all. It's just a little sad. I'm a little sad to be over it. So if you're looking for like a really good billionaire series that doesn't overly focus on their wealth, like yes, they're rich. That's not the focus. So the focus is around their inheritance and how they're going to earn their shares in the company to take care of some issues they see. So rich people problems, yes, but also I felt like the boys were pretty somewhat grounded in reality by the end of each book, which I thought was really fun to see. I love seeing a guy that like kind of lives in La La Land get knocked down a few pegs. And none of the heroines felt like they would just be pushed over by the heroes. Like there are moments, but by the end of each book, I felt like each heroine stood as strong and tall as the hero in these books. So that was nice. And I really liked that we had very different heroes and heroines. Like it didn't feel like she took the template from book 1 and copy and pasted into 3 books about a series of brothers. She really did differentiate them. They all are very unique people all around. Like the women are our female main characters and our male main characters are all very different. And yeah, I think if you're curious, it's worth picking up. I do think book 2 and 3 are my favorite personally, but I do plan on adding them to my shelves because I think that I would just be happy to have them on my shelves to look at because they're cute and they're pretty. I definitely am I'm thrilled. So those are my thoughts. That's where I'm at. Let me know if you've read the Dreamland trilogy yet or not, or if you're reading book 3 right now. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this pretty light spoilers for book 3 since it just came out the day this vlog went up, or within 24 hours of this going up, and it's a long one. And if you haven't read the series, let me know another billionaire series you love and recommend. So you do that in the comments. And if you don't want to do either of those things, leave me a castle emoji because of course it has to be a castle emoji for this one. So you do that and I will be back to talk to y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
About to leave, already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away.